Hey guys, I thought I would give a little demo of my Infiltration UT99 Google download, which has version 469D. I think it's time with this video or up a letter E. It's the community edition Infiltration with the Psytex package. That last bit adds textures, I think, to the guns and to camos, face, things like that. Makes it look a little bit better. The first thing is that, if you've gotten, this far, you probably have the download. And once you have a download or downloaded, then you open it up in your favorite extractor. It's a 7Z file. So if you open it up, you'll see that it starts in games, right? And if you want this to be like plug and play, and you don't want to mess with shortcut configuration or the batch file, configuration where the game relies, then you just take games and you just drop it into your C drive for extraction, and then we wait for it to finish. So while it's extracting, this is the UT99, right? Patched to the open source latest version or nearly to the latest version. Then it has Infiltration fully installed, right? They'll have a shortcut to be able to start Infiltration, and then it has a shortcut for running up dedicated server, right? So I'm going to expand games. All right, you can see that we have games, and this is the running directory. Right, inside the running, or actually the games directory, we have a bat file for the Infiltration server. I'm going to go ahead and start that. We'll go through all these little bits: camo packages, mutator packages, server packages. I have all kinds of things that are loaded up. I also have the server uplinks updated to things that are actually working nowadays, right? So if you have your, you put this on a server and you have, the firewall turned off, or the firewall rules for linking, it should notify those servers, and you should be able to get clients to connect. Otherwise, you can fire this up and, just play a LAN game, connect the client to this one. So the first thing to show about this dedicated server is that, Unreal 99 had or has a limit of how many mutators you can have in the command line. And this is using I spit it out, a mutator called multi-mute. So it's not completely in the command line. If I open up Notepad, you'll see that we have UT Compass, right, which I found that runs better as a mutator by itself. And then we have multi-mute, right? But if we go to the game directory, just to get this off my list to show, there's going to be multi-mute INI, and this is really how you say, well, I don't want to run that mutator, right? If I open this up, you can see everything that's running, team spawn, report direction, weapons, right? And I'm kind of like, there's not a lot of people around the forums to help remind me how all this worked. So it was a lot of adjusting, and I think I have them all in the right place, right? But if you don't want something to run, like I have UT Compass removed here because I put it into the main command line, you just put a double little guy right there, and that stops that mutator, right? So the other thing is that it's working with the internal web browser. So you can set up your rules, set up your maps. Here again, there's a mutators, but if you're going to use this to add or remove mutators, you know, you have to remove these guys. Or anytime that you change settings in here, you have to remove these guys, right? Because if you don't, multi-mute will end up double loading all of these things. We have current game, you know, we're on Kill House. Let's see, server information, right? And the password to the server and the username and all that happy stuff is in the README files, right? Come back to the games. Here is the key bindings. This right here just shows you how all the keys are set up. This is in the Infiltration INI file. This is a shortcut to play Infiltration. You may or may not have an icon that shows up here when you extract that, you know, because it's not really installed. Here's a README for Infiltration 2024, talking about how, you know, I did the pack for the client and stuff like that, right? Then here's the misspelled README. And this is where it talks about, you know, the username and password, right? How you start, well, what I talked about with multi-mute, right? There's also a server ads that's running. So if I do this, right? So that will come up on the server every so often, right? That was mainly just having fun. How much can I get this server set up to do like it used to when I was a administrator for Ghost Dogs, right? So when I start this up the first time, because I just extracted this, I'm going to get a big fat error. My Windows 11 here is actually Windows ARM, and it's Windows ARM because it's running on my MacBook Pro M1 via Parallels VM, right? So I have to set this thing up, right? I get this big old, because I don't really have a real video card, right? So you can't figure it out. So I come in again, and now I get this little guy right here, right? I'm going to say run. Actually, I think I just clicked the wrong thing. I'll try that one more time. Change your video device, right? OpenGL, I do not want. Normally, if you're on a real computer, you would want the OpenGL. It's going to be better, I believe. But I'll go to regular OpenGL. Keep the regular stuff there, defaults, and now it should run up, right? There we go, we have the client running. I'm going to go to the server browser, go to LANs. This is the server that's running right here. I'm just going to have it just right there, right? Double click. Let's see. You can see that I connected. All right. There's my bots. You can see their textures to game textures. You can see the textures of my hand and the weapon looked pretty good. There's my little water pistol mod, right? Back to my favorite gun. I have RichardW-III. I do have radar on for bots. Since I'm on a
yeah, roger that.
laptop, wasn't really using a mouse. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a good player, but I really suck when you're using a trackpad. Anyway, so that's Infiltration package that you can download from the Google link. It'll be in my description, and also a link to the Unreal Terminal forums if you want to post over there. Either way, I hope that you found this useful. Thanks.